Recording.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, all you little baby people! You're all babies now, and you're listening to the Split Screen Gaming Podcast. My name is Chad Michaelinis.
My name is, I believe it's Holden DePardo.
It is still Holden DePardo, and
sweet.
This is the Occasionally Weekly Podcast where we talk to you about video games from the comfort of my bed. In my underwear, I'm wearing Panda underwear right now from MeUndies. No sponsor, just really comfortable underwear.
Just to clarify, I'm in my own bed right now and not in bed with Chad.
But we are both wearing my one pair of underwear. We share underwear.
We do. We share the underwear. Like, hey, are you wearing the Panda underwear today? Cool. I'll be sure to be in that same pair of Panda underwear.
Yeah, I wear the right leg, you wear the left leg. I wear the ball coverage, and then you wear the butthole patch.
Yep. I need the butthole patch because I take up more space in it.
Yeah, and then we trade off the waistband.
Yep. But I usually take more of it. That's just how it rolls.
How it rolls. Speaking of rolls, this is a gaming podcast. And
I see the connection there.
Rolls of quarters times 6 on games, and you play games like similar to rolling a hoop down a street with a stick.
All right.
See?
Have you ever played games?
Segue.
Have you ever played like any sort of arcade game where you put quarters in and you had to put more quarters and continue? I've never done that before.
Really?
Yeah, never.
That's because you're a baby child.
I mean, I played like Dave and Buster's games and stuff. I guess that kind of counts, but
no, I mean, like, I remember so my sisters used to take ice skating lessons, and while they were ice skating, there was a little arcade room, and we used to play Street Fighter there.
I don't believe that. I think you were on the sidelines watching your sister ice skate, all giddy and happy, wishing you could be out there too.
Maybe I was.
Maybe you were. We don't judge this podcast. We don't judge this podcast. I'm just
we
saying
don't judge people on this podcast. We're not your mom.
My mom is very
Daniel
judgmental.
Tosh joke.
Is that Daniel Tosh joke?
I don't judge people. I'm not my mom.
That sounds like a Daniel Tosh joke. I found a new comedian, by the way, this week that I'm like super pumped about.
Yeah?
Have you ever heard of Anthony Jeselnik?
That name sounds familiar, mostly because I think of Jizz every time you hear his name.
I mean, it's kind of part of the name. I'll send you some stuff of his. He's really dark and really funny, and I love it. It's great.
Dark and funny.
Yeah.
Just like amnesia. It's going to be a real special episode today. I'm a little tie-tie. I'm a little worn out.
Oh, as am I. I drove like 3 hours today, so I'm exhausted.
Nice, dude. Get it. Hot. Holden, have you been playing anything this week?
I actually have been. I went to my backlog.
Everything you've ever played in 1 week.
Well, I didn't play a lot of games because I had a lot of homework this week, but I went to my backlog and I played Firewatch.
Ooh, that's on my in my backlog folder.
It's so I haven't beaten it yet. So I haven't got to the end of the story quite yet. But
the whole thing is like what, 3 hours?
Like I said, I have not had much time to play it. I'm pretty close to the end, I feel, though. I'm getting to a point where I'm like things are starting to feel like they're going to wrap up. It's really good. I think there's two ways to look at the game. There is the story elements, and then there's the game elements of it.
Yeah.
And the story elements are awesome. I love the characters, and they're bickering back and forth. When you kind of explore the forest, you can find certain things that will prompt conversations. I guess for people who don't know what Firewatch is, you are a fire watcher in a national park, and your only other character you communicate with is someone over walkie-talkie. And I will kind of leave it at that because the story of why he's there in the park is kind of part of the narrative, so I won't ruin that detail. But it's kind of nice, like you'll walk up and you'll find a turtle, and it'll be like a little like prompt, has a walkie-talkie next to it, so you lift up your walkie-talkie and you're like, hey, like there's a turtle out here, should I keep him? Like what should I name the turtle? And you just kind of have this like conversation back and forth, and they're really rich characters, really strong characters, and they're people that you believe in, that they're actually real. And I enjoyed hearing from the woman on the other side of the walkie-talkie. Like I wanted to talk to her. It was kind of nice that way. So everything story related is great. I absolutely love it. The technical side, however, struggles a little bit.
Yeah.
Where I'll just be walking in the woods and it'll just start dropping frames like crazy.
Dude, leaves are hard to render.
They are hard to render, and actually forests are hard to render in general, but
hence the Lost Woods.
When the whole point of the game is walking around, there shouldn't really be, like, I don't know, I'm not a developer, so I don't really know what goes into making the software of it, but I can't imagine there's really that much like there's no artificial intelligence like AI they have to worry about. There's no like combat systems or anything like you're just walking. So like I'm not sure why it's dropping frames, and it's really annoying because it kind of takes me out.
Here's the question: your main character is a tubby gentleman, is he not? He's
you
quite
kind of have a
rotund.
say a little bit in what he looks like to an extent, but he is large.
So
yes.
could it be that you're doing a lot of walking in the woods and he's getting tired, so the frame rate is slowing down?
Because he is indicative of what your console is doing. So if he gets tired, your console gets tired.
Right, and he's a big man. He's a big man.
I think you're spot on there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's how software works.
It's game design. Like that's brilliant game design.
That's
the fatter your character, the slower the frame rate.
Well, that's why there's a stamina bar in Breath of the Wild, because that's like if you run under your stamina bar, your Switch will just crash because it can't handle it anymore.
Right.
And as you get more stamina, you're actually improving the power of your console
via the cloud.
Yeah. They worked with Microsoft on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Cloud Gin. Is that all you played?
Yeah, that's literally all that I played.
Nice.
I have not had much time to play video games at all this week.
I played a lot of video games this week.
I'm gonna take a while. Yes, wait. Don't tell me you played. I can see it in your future.
I played
you played Destiny.
video games.
Well, I played 4 video games that weren't Destiny, or is one of them Destiny?
One of them is Destiny.
Oh, okay.
Destiny is becoming a part of my life where I'm honestly like scheduling it into my day, like I would when I'm going to the gym. Like I think, all right, tomorrow morning on Monday, I'm waking up at 4:45 so I can go to the gym at 5:30 so I can be back, take a shower, go to work, and then I'm going to come home from rehearsal tomorrow night, and then I'm going to play Destiny for an hour and a half, and then I'm going to go to bed. And then like I'm scheduling it into my day like that because it's consuming me.
Well, it's like I can't remember what day it was, but we were talking and we're figuring out plans of when we were going to go see Blade Runner, and I'm like, oh, you're going to play Destiny tonight though, right? He goes, no, I'm going to go to bed early so I can wake up early and play Destiny before work.
That's right.
I'm
I
gonna
played
call it
that
right now. In like a few months, right, you're gonna have a period where you can't play Destiny or like you play another game or something like that, and you're gonna be like, you know what? Why did I play Destiny? That was such a waste of time, because it's exactly what happened with Destiny 1. I'm calling it right now.
Here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna power up all 3 classes. I'm gonna beat the game with all of them. I'm gonna get everything except for the raid, which means like I'm gonna have almost all the trophies. And then as soon as the first expansion pack comes out and the light level increases and the raid gets easier, I'm gonna do that raid, and then boom, I'm gonna platinum that thing. And I'm just going to keep playing forever for the rest of my life. So that's how life works now.
Really? So you can play for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I guess that's an occupation.
Do you take this wife to be your bride or whatever? Like, I can't. I'm playing Destiny right now.
Do you take this wife to be your bride?
I don't know how it goes,
whatever.
but I think that's how it goes.
Can you officiate my wedding? Do you take this wife to be your bride or whatever? I object.
I think that's how Neil Patrick Harris does it in How I Met Your Mother, because he is able to officiate weddings in that, and that's exactly how he did his. That's not true.
Yeah.
Of all the people who officiate weddings, it's probably the worst person to reference.
You're a reference.
I am a reference.
I also played this week Pokemon Go a lot. I only mentioned this because I specifically like not just on my way to work or on my way to places. I went out for hours to go try and catch Entei.
Entei. I was going to say, what's the dog that came out this week?
Yep. And I encountered him a lot. I fought him a lot and beat him a lot in raids, but he always got away. I wasn't able to catch him.
That's how it is in Pokemon anyway. Pokemon Gold version. He just runs away from you.
I know. But see, it only took me like a maximum of 4 or 5 tries to get any of the other birds or to get the fucking electric cat dog.
I don't remember what I know
Raikou.
Entei. I don't know the other ones.
Raikou. So I was just so discouraged by Entei.
Raikou sounds too much like Raichu.
You sound like Raichu.
No, I sound like Holden.
Holden. Raichu. See, it's an anagram. Rearrange the letters. So I played that.
Onyx.
I was disappointed. I stalked a little Asian old couple around because they were also going around trying to fight it, and I just happened to show up at all the places that they were fighting it.
That's funny. The image of just you following this like old couple around.
Playing Pokemon it's this Go. Little old Asian, and I would always be like half a city block behind them as we were walking from gym to gym. I also played. I'm a little late to the game on this
following
one.
Ash and all them around.
Yep,
that's exactly what it was.
Trying to steal their Pokemon as soon as they catch it. To my knowledge, they did not catch Entei either on any of our successful raid attempts. I also played a
so
new
sorry.
game, and by new I mean it's an old game because it launched with PlayStation VR, but I played it for the first time because it's free currently with PlayStation Plus, and that is RIGS, which is they wanted it to be like the multiplayer shooter, kind of maybe like an esport type
and
contender.
it is revolutionary.
It is not
Boring.
I mean, it's not. It is boring because there was literally like 25 minutes of tutorial before I even got to fight somebody, before I even got to shoot a gun.
I hate that in games.
But
are you excited to play this game in a half hour?
I mean, I kind of get it for this one because with VR, they had to teach you all the mechanics of VR, how the aiming works, and this is a fast-paced game. So you gotta like understand all the controls and things like that. So it's a very complicated game. But the problem is once I got over all of that stuff and then I actually played a match, I was like, I don't know whether I just fucking sucked really bad, but I was only alive, and it felt like it was really easy to kill everybody. Like I was only alive for 3-4 seconds at a time. So I didn't enjoy that time so much. I think with a VR game, you have to play with every single type. I'm not going to acknowledge you because I'm better than that.
You kind of did acknowledge me.
You have to go through. You have to go through all the settings and play with like, all right, what if I do it with the quarter of a turn? Would I have to do it with my head as the aimer, or if I use a left thumbstick to aim and things like that? So I had to go through all of those as well, and I don't know. It's kind of made me sick a little bit too, which doesn't happen often in VR. So I didn't have a great time with RIGS, but it was
really
free,
got
so
sick during VR. You have the most resilience to playing VR that I'm aware of. So
it was mostly the mode where if
surprising.
you move your head, not only does it move your aiming reticle, but it also moves the camera with your head. So
okay,
but the camera's always just like a little bit behind. I'm sure this is great for the audio podcast because I'm actually moving my head in real space and my mouth is getting further away from the
they can tell.
So I played RIGS, meh. But it's free, so try it before November if you have a VR. And finally, my fourth game. I beat
Amnesia?
Mario Kingdom Rabbids Battle.
Oh, that's right.
For the
you
stars.
told me about this, which I still need to beat. I kind of stopped at the end of World 3.
Yeah, it was worth beating. There was I was upset that World 2 and didn't have more like Rabbids integration with traditional Mario characters like they did with Rabbids Kong and the little goddamn shit. Piranha Plant, like things like that. I was like, man, what a great opportunity. There was a little bit more of that in World 4, and I was excited to see that.
There wasn't that much of it in World 3 either, to my recollection.
No. So I was excited for that. It was a lot more of the same. You get Yoshi finally, almost at the very end of the game. You get Yoshi, but yeah, it's fun. I had to finish it though. I was like, I can't leave this unfinished because South Park comes out next week. And then 10 days later is Super Mario Odyssey. So I got some shit to play. Plus, I got to fit Destiny into my daily life. So
Super Mario Odyssey is a tough one because I really want to go through my backlog before I get any more games. But I really want to play Super Mario Odyssey.
You dumb bitch.
I really want to get it.
That's the whole reason this console exists. Fuck Zelda.
Incorrect. The reason that the console exists is for ARMS, obviously.
Shut up. Do you even play that game anymore? No, no one does.
No, I played it.
Dumb game.
That reminds me, actually, I did play one more game this week.
What did you play?
A game I played a lot of, but it was my brother's birthday.
Boost 2.
No, I didn't. It was my brother's birthday. He turns 12 years old on Saturday.
Okay.
So yesterday. And
can you drive a car yet?
He drove Mario Kart.
What an idiot.
He got Mario
Kart. A car yet.
So we got to play Mario Kart online together, and I showed him no mercy. I was so cruel. Yeah. He was like, we should play 100cc. I'm like, you should try out 150 and see how you like that.
Oh, that poor little baby.
No, he's played Mario Kart Wii like a bunch, so he knows how to play 150.
Desmond, Brian, Matilda?
Grayson. Brian is my dad's name, though, so that was two great guesses.
Is it Grayson Sanford?
No, it's Grayson George.
He was a troublemaker in my neighborhood as a kid. Mm-hmm. Was that your brother?
It was, yep.
Nice.
Yeah. Is that works?
Hey, let's talk about some news.
Oh, is there news? I heard that some stuff happened this week.
Not a lot.
Why don't you start with the biggest story?
Okay, I'm going to start with the biggest story. Stardew Valley is available on Switch now.
Yep. Are you going to play that?
No.
What is it exactly? I don't even really know.
It's like a farming simulator. It's like Harvest Moon.
Oh, yeah, I'm never going to play that.
I was hooked as shit on Harvest Moon, though, as everyone on this podcast has heard before, my stories of Harvest Moon and Game Boy Color. But yeah, I ain't got time for that. I mean, people who play this game have like 400 hours in it. I was like, I got to pick my battles. I'm sure it's great and it's addicting as hell, but ain't got time for that.
You ain't got time for that?
Same reason why I haven't played Persona 5. I want to play it a lot. Heard it's really great, but ain't got time for that. So yeah, I added that news story when they announced the date, and then by now it's already out. So hey, go get it if you're into it.
Cool. It was people were super pumped about it. I don't have a lot of interest in that. I have 2 related stories I'm going to share here.
Oh,
they're both related to.
They can't get married, so you cannot officiate their wedding.
No, nor would they want me to. They're both Rockstar related stories.
Me, Smash Mouth.
Yep,
All-Star?
absolutely. They're both about Smash Mouth.
PlayStation
No, Rockstar.
Battle All-Star Royale Battle Mouth.
Overrated game or underrated
Smash.
game. I actually liked that game.
I like that game too.
So the first one is that there have been ratings for the PlayStation Store for Midnight Club 3, GTA Liberty City Stories, Vice City Stories, and Max Payne 2. So those might be coming to the PlayStation 4, which would be kind of exciting because I really enjoyed.
Aren't those already out as PS2 classics?
No, not yet. That's the thing, is that they are being talked about. I would play Max Payne 2 because the Max Payne 1 came out on mobile, I believe.
Yeah.
And I liked it a lot, actually. That was a fun game.
You played it on mobile and enjoyed it on mobile?
I did play it on mobile and enjoyed it on mobile. It's basically a 3D action shooter, but it had the bullet time effect where you could like slow down and like jump in the air and slow down time and shoot guys as you're jumping in the air. And they did that pre-Matrix.
Pratrix.
So that's cool. And then the other one, which is I think less plausible, is there are rumors and talks of Grand Theft Auto 5 coming to Nintendo Switch.
Nope.
Maybe the 360 version, but I don't think so.
No. Do you know why this one's not going to happen? Because the biggest moneymaker and the biggest reason why Grand Theft Auto 5 is still relevant right now is GTA Online. And Nintendo just doesn't have the online infrastructure.
What are you talking about? You'd love to be able to connect with your friends to the Nintendo Switch app for GTA Online.
Nope. Literally, with FIFA, you can't even fucking do that. You can't play with your friends online.
Yeah, I'm saying no to this one. I think it's kind of one of those. Some people just still love getting in a car in GTA, or I should say, stealing a car in GTA and then just driving around.
Yeah, but that's not worth it for Rockstar. They're not going to make money there.
Yeah.
They're trying to get people into this GTA Online ecosystem.
Exactly. So that's not going to happen. Just saying.
So why the fuck did you bring it up?
Because it's talked about.
I'm kidding, yeah. Oh, silly.
Do you have another story? You want me to share another one?
Yeah, I've got stories. Who the hell do you think I am?
Oh, I'm so
Queen
proud of you. You have
Latifah?
stories.
She's all out of stories, apparently.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means at all.
I don't know either.
I mean, she's been in a lot of movies. She's been a part of many stories.
Do you watch Rick and Morty?
No.
You're
but
an
I
idiot. You
think I
should
know
watch
what
Rick and
story.
Morty.
I can't get into it. I've tried.
But, sorry, my train of thought just went Queen Latifah, Queef Latina.
Mulan Swayze sauce?
No. Szechuan.
Szechuan, sorry.
No, Queen Latifah, Queef Latina, and then there was a very funny line on Rick and Morty last week where he calls the president the commander in Queef. And I said, that's a very funny title.
That is hysterical. You have now convinced me to watch Rick and Morty. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. There is a shit ton. Subject verb agreement. There are a shit ton of new accessories coming from Nintendo that are Mario themed and Zelda themed, and I want them all.
Yeah, they look pretty great.
Every single one of them. There's some kick-ass Pro controllers.
Yes. One of the ones suck, though. Those Joy-Con controllers look so bad.
Oh, the Joy-Con grips? Nobody fucking wants Joy-Con grips anyway, so...
No.
But there are some cases, I guess if you're into cases. I hate cases for anything in my life. But Pro controllers looked super sexy, especially that Zelda one if you're into Breath of the Wild. But I want that Mario Odyssey.
Which I hear that I am.
Yeah, somebody told me that. I thought they were stupid, but then I heard that it was real, and I was like, oh, shit. I mean, if
that
you're
Mario Odyssey one's really nice,
game
too.
Cartridge case, do people still buy physical media? You can store it in one of the new cases.
Some people love that you can get cartridges for the Switch again. I thought that was weird, but digital all the way.
DAW, digital all the way, digital audio workspace. So yeah, those are cool. Go check those out. There's a huge gallery on IGN.com. I'm sure they're on Nintendo's website as well. La la la. Hey, what's next, Kuh?
What's next? I'll tell you what's next.
Speaking of Kuh,
we're gonna go. We'll stick with Nintendo now, since you brought that up. The Metroid franchise. There are no plans for another remake, which is basically just code for Metroid Prime 4 is your next train stop. Like that's where you're going next. Which
get on that Metro train to Georgia. I'm
happy for that, and I'm honestly not surprised. I mean, this is a franchise that was dormant for a very long time, and they announced 2 games at the same exact time. So I'm honestly surprised they even had to come out and say that, but they were asked, so they said that. So I'm happy.
A company obliged when asked a question?
I know, that is surprising.
Yeah.
And then I have one more Nintendo story I want to share to kind of get them out of the way.
Oh, yeah. Tell me all about Nintendo.
Just quick little blurb. I just thought this is nice. Shovel Knight sold more units out of the gate, so on like launch day.
Yeah.
Out of the gate on Nintendo Switch than any other platform.
Out of the gate, like, day one sales. Not it sold more out of the gate on Nintendo than all of those combined ever?
No, just it's like... If PlayStation 4
when comparing
was the highest,
day one sales, basically.
Yeah, like it sold more than the other consoles. Yeah,
gotcha.
I think it kind of shows that
because there are games out there that they've sold better on PlayStation or on goddamn Switch than all other platforms ever in time combined.
I think what's notable about this though is that Shovel Knight had already been available on every other console.
Yeah,
for a while. Not like this was like a week before it was on PlayStation 4. No, it'd been out for like a year, 2 years, and actually I think like it's been out for a few years now.
I think it helps that there was a bit of exclusivity in the content that was on there, for at least a timed exclusivity.
Yeah, but I think it goes to show that people want to play that kind of game on the Switch.
That, yes. Also, it was one of like 4 things available on the Switch.
There was actually a lot of games on launch day. There was like 20...
At the time.
No, there's like 20 games available. I bought it.
There was Zelda. There was... That's it. That's all there was. There was Zelda, and then a day later came out Shovel Knight.
Forgetting about the biggest one.
And then like 3 years later came ARMS. And now that we're finally 10 years into this life cycle, we're finally getting a fucking Mario game on Switch. It's about time.
Oh, I can't believe I don't have this news story put down on here. Nintendo ramping up production of the Switch.
Oh yeah, I didn't have that down either, but they are.
Yeah,
2 million units a month.
That's a lot, and they're going to sell through it, which means that they will sell more than 10 million units this year if they are able to sell through that, which I think that they will be able to. And it's coming in right before Mario comes out, which is good business.
Yeah, so, I think that's. I mean, they're starting now to be like reliably. More often than not, you could probably find it on an online retailer to order, which is good. Mario Odyssey is coming, so they're going to have good stock for that. But also, they're finally starting to sell in China. They don't have an exact release date, but it's coming soon in China. So that's going to be a big push to be able to have those available whenever it launches there. Yeah. But that's crazy. 2 million a month.
But this is now, I think they are now at a point where if this trend continues, and with 2 million a month, they will surpass the trend that's currently happening, that they're currently seeing. This will be the biggest seller for Nintendo in first year ever.
Your first year ever.
Since 1995. But still, the Wii was probably the biggest one before that. So this is doing well.
We would like to play. Do you remember that ad campaign?
We would like to play, yeah.
And 2 Japanese people show up at your front door, ring the doorbell,
and they say, "Why not both?"
And they just give you a little remote and said, "We would like to play." And I'm like, "Who the fuck are you? Get away from my door."
I loved those ads. I remember there was that one point in the ad where they showed the guy who's playing Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. You remember that guy in it? No. He just looked like really serious and like badass, like pointing his Wii controller at the screen. It was like the Dark game that was coming out for the Wii.
Oh, yeah.
Like all these games are for kids, but Metroid's for those adults out there. And he just looked like really like serious and you should try to find that clip. I think it's really funny. Game advertisements 10 years ago were funny. They've always been funny, but something about gaming advertisements in the 2000s were just really funny, I think. I don't know why. Nice. They just were. That's my personal anecdote.
That's actually kind of a good little anecdote.
Is that a good little anecdote?
Moving into our topic of the day.
You have more news stories, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Holden.
Let's do more news stories, and then we can do our topic of the day. I know you're excited, Chad. It's a great topic, and our audience has no idea.
This is what my tongue looks like. Hey, guys, moving from PlayStation to... I mean, why do I keep want to fucking call this stupid-ass beautiful console a PlayStation? It's a Switch. Maybe because all good things are PlayStation, because
you just call it beautiful? I thought you hated your Switch.
Excuse me?
I'm just saying.
I played Rabbids in Millennium Park on a bench while waiting for Entei to spawn. I couldn't do that on a PlayStation.
That's like Nintendo's wet dream right there. Like, wait, you were doing well with Nintendo products? Oh my god.
Oh man. PlayStation. Two things. One, PlayStation VR is getting a new model.
Yeah.
It's not a complete redesign. It's just a couple of things to kind of streamline the process and make it just a little bit better. One, it is getting new integrated headphones. So they are no longer just headphones that you plug into a thing. It's like kind of making it neater and kind of streamlining the cords and cable management part of it.
The cords and cable, I think, is honestly the biggest deal. There are a lot of cables.
So they're streamlining that and also making it finally HDR pass-through capable. Because if you have a PlayStation
Explain to our users what that means. Because I had to read into that to really understand what that meant.
So you have a little breakout box that comes with a processing unit that comes with your PlayStation. And your regular PlayStation plugs, the HDMI cable goes into that, and then there's a cable that comes out of that processing box and goes to your TV. So all signal coming from your PlayStation, whether you're using VR or not, goes through that box. So the original one that they released a month after they announced HDR coming to all PlayStation units does not have HDR capability. Which means that if you like that high dynamic range, those beautiful colors and deep blacks and bright whites...
Which it does make a big difference, HDR. It really does.
It does. If you like all of that, it couldn't go through that processing unit. That processing unit wouldn't pass the HDR signal through. You just get your regular standard output. So you had to unplug your PlayStation 4 from the processing unit, plug it into the TV when you need to do HDR stuff. And then when you do VR things, you unplug it from there, plug it back into the processing unit. So it was a big old pain in the ass, which was kind of a big misstep on their part because they announced these products. Well, they announced the VR a long time ago before that. But still, they released it right after they made a big deal about HDR with the PS4 Pro.
I think
so this kind of makes that available.
Yeah, I think the HDR is a bigger deal to me, just as a platform for VR than it is for a television. It's a big deal for televisions, but for VR, HDR is all about lifelike lighting.
Well, to be clear,
and VR. Go ahead, yeah.
I'm 99% sure VR is not HDR.
Oh, it's not. So
no,
just if
what you're seeing in the headset is not high dynamic range. This just allows that high dynamic range signal to pass through to your TV, so you don't have to unplug and plug back in all the time.
Oh, that's lame then. I'm not all for that.
I mean, to get those HDR screens in a VR unit would be pretty hefty. I don't think so. I'll look into it whenever you read whatever you're going to read
well,
next.
I guess that it'd be a big deal if they did. I also think that all these enhancements sound nice. I'm suspicious, not negatively suspicious. It's a positive suspicion that this is really more about how do you put it? Streamlining the manufacturing of the VR.
Yeah.
And just making it so it's easier to manufacture these things. I have a suspicion that's part of what this is, because the enhancements in and of themselves, to me, don't warrant a brand new VR headset.
No.
I think, especially the cabling, I think it's a big part of that too. There are so many wires on the original version. So that's just my, they're probably trying to streamline their manufacturing. Just like when the PSP, not PSP, the PS Vita came out, and then they wanted to make one easier to manufacture, so they released the PS Vita 2000 or whatever it's called, or Slim, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of partly that. But beyond VR, I also got a little thing here about Player Unknown Battlegrounds, or PUBG.
About the redesign on the PSVR.
Yeah.
One, the screens inside the VR headset itself are not HDR.
Okay.
Two,
I'm kind of bummed by that.
They only announced a release date. Yeah. They only announced a release date of October for Japan. No US release date was announced yet for the US
early
version.
Next year. If it's not coming out, if they haven't announced a release date, it's not coming out this year. Early next year.
No, I don't think it's coming out this year, but yeah. So if you're getting VR, you're probably going to be able to.
That a console will be released in Japan significantly earlier than other territories.
Yeah.
If you count VR as a console, which I kind of do in this case. So PUBG dev is in talks with Sony about a PS4 version. The story's had a few developments throughout the week, but essentially what's happened is this rumor came out that they're talking to Sony about putting PUBG on the PlayStation 4, and now they're in talks with Microsoft about extending their exclusivity contract.
Yeah.
So I think there's two possibilities. One is they want more money out of Microsoft, so they kind of have this like, well, we're talking to PlayStation.
Yep.
How much money do you want to
smart
give
moves
us?
on their part.
And I also think that they just want to put it on PlayStation because eventually it'll just make more money when it's there. So my prediction right now is that PUBG will come out in the summer of next year on PlayStation 4.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's what's going to happen. It can't be on Xbox One. It just can't be. It's too big of a game, and they're only going to hurt themselves. And I think that even waiting until summer next year wouldn't be great, because Fortnite has their battle royale mode now, which is on PlayStation 4. So people are going to say, well, for free, yeah. And well, if you bought, oh yeah, actually, Fortnite's free, isn't it?
That battle royale mode is free. Free
if
to play,
you have the game.
No, I think it's just free to play for that part, and then you can
Interesting. I might download that because I kind of want to try that
up.
mode. So why would I buy an Xbox to play a game mode that I can play on my PlayStation 4, as you say, for free? So I think they're kind of hurting themselves by doing this. They really need to get on PlayStation to solidify them as the like battle royale game to play. So it's just going to open up a lot of different competitors to come out.
Yeah.
So
P.S. Yes, that Fortnite Battle Royale is free to play.
That is awesome. I'm so going to get that. But that is all the news that I have, Chad. Nothing else important could have happened in the week because I didn't talk about it.
You're not talk about... Actually, there was. The president of PlayStation is stepping down.
Okay, that is important.
So
I totally forgot.
That's pretty huge.
I forgot about that. What was the reason? I forgot about that.
So Andy House, who we mentioned last week, was talking about, Vita and saying Nintendo's not... or the handheld hybrid console isn't a solution that they were looking into. Mm-hmm. He is... I'm just going to read this article from GameSpot. Andrew House, the president of Sony Interactive Entertainment, has stepped down. In a statement, Sony said that current deputy president John Codera is taking over for House as president and chief executive officer of SIE, effective immediately. As for House, he is staying with SIE through the end of the year, quote, to ensure a smooth transition, end quote. Even after his time is up, House is staying connected to SIE as he's moving into the role of director and chairman of SIE.
So you're just getting a new job,
he's kind of moving to a different area. He says, I'm tremendously proud of what we've built with PlayStation and Sony Interactive Entertainment, entertaining millions globally with the best in games and creating a fully fledged digital entertainment company, House said in a statement. PlayStation has been a huge part of my life for more than 20 years, but with the business having achieved record-breaking success, now seemed to be the right time for me to pursue new challenges. I shall always treasure the friendships and people that have made SIE such a wonderful place to work. I'm also grateful to PlayStation fans and gamers around the world for their loyalty and support. John and the team at SIE are world-class, and I know the future of PlayStation is very bright. So the guy who's going to be taking over for him has been there for a year as the current deputy president, so it's not like he's a newcomer. So he knows Sony, he knows PlayStation. And Andrew House is just like, yeah, we're in a good place, record-breaking, time to step down. I think it's a smart move. Like,
it is. It's better to do this now than when it's like, okay, PlayStation 5 came out and no one bought it and we're in shambles and let's get new leadership in here, please, God, let's save ourselves. Like, yeah.
And suddenly that's what you post to your LinkedIn profile. I was the guy who launched PlayStation 5 and it tanked.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a smart move on his part. I also think, too, that when you are successful like that, get new ideas in there to work off of the success that you do have.
Yep.
So I also think that this is a sign that maybe PlayStation 5 is coming sooner.
Well, possibly, yeah.
I mean, that's a total speculation. I have nothing else to back that on other than maybe they want to have some fresh eyes on that launch.
Maybe.
But Andrew House did a good job. I mean, PlayStation 4 was hugely successful. He's been there a long time. Good for him.
He took over from Jack Tretton. Jack Tretton actually kind of did the same thing. He was there in the PS3 days when they were like struggling to keep up, and they finally brought themselves back from the ashes. And then PS4 launched, and it was record-breaking, best-selling console of the generation. And then he's like, cool, peace, y'all, I'm out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. Good for them. Okay, so now everything we've talked about is the most important thing, and nothing else can be important because we finally mentioned, which was actually probably the biggest story of the week. So, we have a good topic this week. I'm excited about this topic.
What's our topic this week? Introduce it. Tell me all about it. Read me a story.
It's a pretty simple question, actually.
Okay.
Has gaming gone mainstream? And I think to kind of define what that really means is movies are mainstream, books, of course, are mainstream, music is mainstream. Have games hit that? And I think the answer is kind of complicated. But I'm curious what your thoughts are on that first before I tell my correct answer to the question.
I think that they are gaming in general is moving in the right direction, and it is no longer the talk around gaming in government and public perspective is no
stupid.
Longer. Oh my God! All they are is beating hookers and shooting people to death.
The only game that exists is Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
and
what
Mario.
It was 10 years ago. So it's definitely evolving past that, and things are getting recognized. Like, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture won several BAFTAs at the British and Fine Art, whatever the fucking British awards are. So them being recognized is helping, and they are definitely moving towards becoming more mainstream, and more people are gaming. One, because cell phones are a thing, and they're in your pocket, and everyone has access to it. And two, because it's kind of, compared to a lot of other things, a kind of inexpensive hobby.
Yeah,
which is nice too.
It is. I definitely agree that this is definitely the most mainstream that games have ever been. I mean, if you were a kid playing an NES back in the 80s, you were a nerd. Like, I was a nerd for, like, talking about Zelda on the school playground and talking about Pokemon on the school playground. I don't think that would happen as much anymore. I think that games is, like, it is a standard thing. But I do think that
because every fucking kid is playing Minecraft.
Yeah, no, exactly. Every kid's playing Minecraft. That's a great example of games going mainstream as well. Yeah. I mean, Minecraft is used in educational aspects as well.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating. But I think it's a little more complicated because, like, movies are mainstream in the sense that when, you know, the Oscars come out, there's more discussion about what's going to get best picture than when, like, the video game awards come out. Even a lot of video gamers are like, yeah, whatever, man, I don't really care about that. So, like, there's still some hurdles that kind of have to be passed, I think. And yeah, you have mobile games that are, I mean, ubiquitous in society nowadays. Like, everyone plays mobile games. Like, my mom, who isn't a gamer, loves playing Threes and Words with Friends on her phone. Like, but she's not a gamer, you know what I mean? So, like,
yeah.
But I do think that there's two types of games. There's the mobile games, and there's more of that, like, hardcore style game on a PlayStation and an Xbox and a Nintendo. Like, I don't think that has fully gone mainstream yet. Until, like, it's like a movie's going to release against a video game coming out because it's not going to interfere. Until, like, saying, oh, crap, you know, new Mario game's coming out the same day that the Star Wars movie's coming out, like, I don't know what I'm going to do, man. That doesn't really happen.
Not in America, at least.
Not in America, at least, yeah.
There's, like, in Japan, when a new Dragon Quest comes out, people call off work. Like, it's a thing.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that, like, those, like, kind of hardcore experiences still haven't hit that mainstream mark yet. But, like, I guess, like, one term I kind of keep running in my head is we have that term gamer still. Oh, you're a gamer. There's no, like, oh, are you a movier? Do you movie? Like, I kind of make that connection to, like, people play games, whether it's Words with Friends or Threes on their phone, and then there are gamers, and those are the people who play a lot of video games, and it's kind of one of their big hobbies. Just like there are people who, oh yeah, I'll go see whatever Katherine Heigl movie's out now, versus movie buffs. Totally.
People who go see all the indie movies, and they're really into, all right, I'm going to go see every Oscar film before the Oscars come on. And so I think there are people like that in every medium.
There's differences, though, in gaming, though. And I totally agree. Like, you're definitely not, like, wrong. But I think there's a distinction with gaming where that we, like, both play Breath of the Wild, as an example. I know you didn't like it as much as I do, but we'll just use it as an example. Like, we both play Breath of the Wild, and I'm like, oh, dude, it was so good. You got to play this game. You couldn't then go to, like, you know, your grandma and be like, oh my gosh, Breath of the Wild was so good, Grandma. I know you're playing Words with Friends, but you gotta try Breath of the Wild. Whereas, like, we just both saw Blade Runner over the weekend. Yeah. And it was a great movie. It didn't do very well at the box office, but I could still go to someone and say, dude, you gotta see Blade Runner. And they're not gonna be like, how do I do it? I don't know if I can do the Blade Runner. That's just not a hurdle.
Yeah, there's still that little hurdle of the controller,
Yeah. But it's true that, like, there are movie buffs. There are, like, oh, you haven't seen all of Quentin Tarantino's movies? Do you like movies?
Right, exactly. One other thing that I think is helping make gaming more mainstream is that as a medium, they're also growing up.
Yes.
They if you think back to E3 or any gaming event a decade ago when booth babes were a thing, when they would literally hire scantily clad women
Yep.
with giant boobs to stand outside of their booths to have people come play their games because they wanted all of the... Yeah, exactly.
We've made so much progress on that crap, yeah.
We've gone from having booth babes trying to entice you to play a game to having games talk about death and loss and mental illness like Hellblade, Journey, and Rapture. And like
Totally.
So I think games as a medium are growing up as well, which is helping make them more mainstream and more acceptable.
And I do think that, and we kind of already talked about this, but like, you know, there's no stigma really on it.
Yeah.
There's not that like gamer doesn't have a negative connotation to it anymore. And I do actually think that it is because of games like Journey and things like that have really changed that.
Right.
But there are still types of games like World of Warcraft or like League of Legends that are still kind of like, oh, you play like League, I see, kind of thing. Like, and I'm not making fun of anyone who plays League. Like, if you love League of Legends, awesome.
But those are kind of like games take over your life kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And like movies don't like movies as a platform might, but I guess like. But no one's saying like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and watch Midnight in Paris over and over and over and over again because I really loved it so much. Like, I guess there are exceptions like Star Wars. Yeah,
you know how many times my niece has seen Frozen?
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Now they're on Shaun the Sheep. So
I love Nick Park animation.
Yeah,
I have seen Wallace and Gromit and all that stuff so many times. I love Wallace and Gromit.
Not my cup of tea.
Really?
Yep.
You're not crackers for Wallace and Gromit? I'm just crackers for cheese, Gromit.
That sounds awful.
Oh, it's so good stuff. Such good stuff. And actually, I saw the Shaun the Sheep movie. I paid to go see the Shaun the Sheep movie, and I loved it.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I loved it. Chicken Run's great.
I don't want to be a pie. I don't like gravy.
Yeah, see? It's good stuff.
I saw that when I was like 3.
Yeah, and I still
I knew at the moment, I was like, I hate this style of animation.
I just think that the visual humor is really funny, and it's just they're charming characters.
They're just sort of like styles of animation and stop motion and things like that. Like some stop motion is beautiful to me, like Kubo and the Two Strings or Nightmare Before Christmas, and then there's like Fantastic Mr. Fox, or like Chicken Run, where I'm like, oh, I just don't like looking at this.
Yeah, this actually kind of makes me think about how, and this is totally tying into our topic. I'm not saying that sarcastically.
Absolutely, yeah.
No, it's not, and I'm not saying that sarcastically at all. So, like, Walt Disney, right, when he was making Snow White, right, that was one of the first, full-length animated movies. And he said, I know we will be successful if people cry. If people have an emotional response to this. Not if we sell tickets, but if people cry in the theater. I don't think that's happened with games yet. Like, I've had an emotional response to Last of Us.
You haven't cried during a video game yet?
But I didn't cry. No, I haven't.
Oh my god, I cry during video games all the fucking time.
Like, not when you die because you're a pussy. But, like, when do you cry?
No, I don't ever die because I'm fucking great at games.
You never die when you play Bloodborne or Dark Souls.
No.
Never.
No, I had to carry your ass through that whole game.
Because I just jump into combat. I'm like, oh, the enemies are there. Let's go.
Holden, you have 2 health. Heal!
I've gotten better.
Oh, no, man. I cry all the time in games.
Well, I'm curious about just what games have you cried in? I'm curious.
Last of Us, Journey, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, Hellblade, Uncharted 4.
See, I had emotional responses to, like,
Thomas
these
Was
games.
Alone.
I haven't beaten Thomas Is Alone. I started playing it. I'm like, this is really good. I'm going to finish this. And then I never did.
It's beautiful. That Dragon Cancer. So many games.
I agree those games are emotional. Like Last of Us, the opening scene is heart-wrenching. I've already mentioned this podcast many times that when there's a moment where you think Elena, is it Elena?
Yep.
Yeah, and Uncharted 4 dies, and you're like, oh my god, Elena. And I called out like, oh my god, Elena. And I felt like, but I didn't cry. Like, I didn't have like, whereas like...
It's because you binged 2 of those games and skipped one and didn't have the emotional connection to the characters like I did, because I appreciated and played those games over 4, 5, 6, 7 years.
That's a very, very valid point. I gave who was it? My first roommate a hard time because I loved the ending of Lost, and I remember getting very emotional at the end of Lost. And my roommate was like, "Yeah, I didn't get that." I'm like, "Yeah, because you watched the whole series in a week." So I totally get that. Lost was there for like 4 years of my life. I binge watched the first 2 seasons, then watch it live, and it does become a part of your life. So I won't give you a hard time for that one. But I guess for me, I haven't cried in a game yet, mostly because Nintendo games aren't emotional.
That's right. There's no story.
Yeah. Oh my God, Zelda, I saved you. Oh my God.
Oh my God, I got the Triforce back together again.
Oh my God, Peach was in this castle. Yeah, so that's I hadn't thought about that. There are some games that make people cry. I guess I'm a heartless bastard, I guess. How dare I be so heartless? Interesting. I still do stick to the fact that actually, speaking of Bloodborne and Dark Souls, I still just stick to that those games are like the super niche games in the sense of like it's a movie that if it were a movie, like it'd be something people just wouldn't play or wouldn't watch, kind of thing. Like there's no movies like, oh, I would never ever watch that. You might be like, okay, fine, you pulled my arm, I'll watch this stupid scary movie, kind of thing. But Bloodborne, like people be like, yeah, I just don't do that. I just don't do that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think that's something that we'll kind of always see in games. Not that that's a bad thing. I think it distinguishes video games, if anything else, because it is a challenge that you're overcoming in some games.
I won't watch a Nick Cage movie.
Are there Nick Cage movies to watch that are worthwhile?
I won't watch a Keanu Reeves movie. Still won't see John Wick.
You won't see John Wick?
Nope, I don't do Keanu Reeves. Nope,
John Wick
is with Keanu Reeves.
John Wick is awesome.
No,
The Matrix.
That after the Matrix trilogy, I was like, all right.
The first one's the only good one. The first one's the only good one. Some people are like, well, the second one was pretty good. No, it wasn't. The second one was not good. Only the first one was good.
Keanu Reeves is not good.
I really, really liked Keanu Reeves in what was that movie? The Lake House. You know what he was great in? Keanu was great in the movie Keanu when he was not Keanu, but he was in fact a cat. Because that movie was hysterical. He wasn't even in that movie.
No, he was not. But Keanu the cat, shout out to Keanu.
I haven't seen that before. I've not seen that movie before.
It's so funny.
Well, I probably won't see that, if I'm being honest with you.
I think it's on Netflix. You should watch it. It's very, very, very funny.
Yeah. We're talking about movies at this point. We're talking about Blade Runner, because that movie was so good.
Oh, God. I don't want to spoil anything for the listeners, but that movie is the most beautiful, stunning cinematography I've ever seen in a movie. Yeah. And I can't wait to freaking see it again in HDR all over my pussy.
I went to go see it. I've seen it twice now, which are probably the only ones, because it only brought in $30 million at the box office, which is kind of upsetting. But I went to go see it at a theater here in New England. It's my favorite theater ever. It's an IMAX. But they also have like the new highest end like laser projection system, so like all the colors are like that much better. They have the next generation sound for IMAX. All the seats are Tempur-Pedic, and they have what they call butt kickers underneath all the seats. So like when the soundtrack really starts kicking in, when like stuff starts happening, like your seat shakes and stuff. Like
literally is a kick in the ass.
It is, and it's awesome. It was great. But I mean, I don't want to go into spoilers in the movie just because people haven't seen it yet, or probably won't see it at all.
But you should. Everyone should go see it.
It's probably my favorite movie to come out this year.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just,
I think it's like a defining sci-fi movie for our generation.
I would completely agree with that. It is just it's so beautifully shot. It's interesting from scene to scene. Like, although it's not the fastest paced movie, there wasn't a single scene where I was like, oh, this is like really taking me out of it. Like, it just, every scene I'm like, ooh, that's really interesting. That was really cool.
Just like, slow tension building the entire movie too.
Absolutely.
Oh, so good. Also, a masterclass in how to do a proper sequel.
Yes, absolutely.
Even if it is, I don't know how many decades later.
Well, not even that. It's also how to make a sequel that stands on its own without like having. You didn't really need to see the first one to enjoy this movie.
You didn't really need to, but man, you should.
You should, absolutely, because Blade Runner is also a defining science fiction movie.
If you're going to see this movie, watch Blade Runner: The Final Cut first.
But if you don't, though, like I don't think you'll be lost. They do a pretty good job of explaining. There is one scene, which I won't say what it is, but I think you know what scene I'm talking about, where you see a returning character, and if you hadn't known who that character was, it might not have been impactful in the same way. But you still kind of get an idea of what the meaning of that character is without knowing their history in the first movie. I'm trying to be as vague about it as possible, but I think you know what I meant. And anyone who had seen the movie should know what I mean by that. It was
such
so good.
A good film.
Really good. And also watching it a second time as well, didn't feel like super long. It's a 3-hour movie, but it didn't feel very long even the second time knowing what's going to happen. If anything, you're like, you're paying attention to small details, being like, oh, they did that. Oh, they said that. Like, it's pretty cool. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. What is that from?
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, maybe I've just heard a lot of other people do it because I've never seen that.
It's a really good show, and it came back last week, and it was awesome. It was super funny.
Yeah, I'm not a Seinfeld person, so...
Oh, this episode
Well,
was great.
the last 15 minutes of our gaming podcast has been movies, so...
R.I.G.S. mainstream. I don't know. Let's talk about movies, though.
Yeah, obviously not, because we'd rather talk about movies.
Yeah. Just to bring it back to the topic again, one thing, and I was looking into this, I didn't look into it too much, but it kind of intrigued me. There was a few TED Talks about video games being used as textbooks, and that's a sign of them becoming mainstream. I don't know what is. That's also a weird concept.
Huh.
Like experience, and even like VR, you see this, like you don't read the news, you will do VR news where you kind of experience it.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting concept.
Oh, that sounds awful.
With
because all the
stories.
news is political corruption and murder.
Yeah, you just like put your VR headset on and just some guys getting stabbed in front of you and like, last night, oh my god, what's happening?
That sounds terrible. Terrible. Yeah.
The New York Times is doing VR news. I think they want to do it so it's like, this is what the Middle East is like, so you know how horrible America really is. I think that's really the whole purpose of it.
The Middle East is actually a great place, and we live in a shithole with a shitty president.
It's
Commander-in-Chief.
They have tons of freedoms over there. Just freedom at the wazoo in the Middle East. It's crazy. It's a wonderful world.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do we have an interrogatives this week?
I think we don't actually have an interrogative this week.
Sounds like our quote-unquote listeners, have been slacking off.
We always get email responses saying, hey, please talk about this question on your show. And we're like, all right, out of all the questions,
jeez,
we'll talk
most
about
of them
this
get
one.
Thrown in the trash.
Yeah, most of them. We'd love to talk about all of them.
Most of them are about how great I am at Pokemon Go, so...
How do you be good at Pokemon Go?
To do it a lot.
Just do it a lot.
You tap faster than everyone else, maybe? I don't know.
I guess we don't have anything to talk about. I guess something that was interesting to me is I didn't get a chance to play it, but the beta for Battlefront 2 was this weekend.
Oh, god damn it. Did you get to play Octopath Traveler?
Oh, I did play a little bit of it.
You did? Tell me. Okay, I didn't get the chance to play it.
I'll say this, actually. I want to play more of it before I talk about it, because I only played a little bit. So next week we'll talk about Octopath Traveler.
We're not going to talk shit then.
Battlefront 2, apparently, from what I heard from Gus, is that it is quite good and a big improvement over the first one.
You guys remember Gus, the potato guy from, like, episode 3?
Yeah, Yukon Potato, Yukon Gold Potatoes.
Yukon Gold Potatoes. What a good episode that was. Go back and listen to that episode, guys. Not a lot. It was Mario Kart episode.
Yeah, it was the Mario Kart one, yeah. Because Gus was very good at Mario Kart 64.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. But he's also really good at Smash Bros. He kicks ass at Smash Bros.
I believe it.
Yeah. He says he bought a Switch just because he knows that one day Smash Bros will come to it. And he'll be ready.
That's so dumb.
He also likes Zelda.
That's also dumb.
No, it's not. It's the best game. So
good. That's all we got for you this week on Split Screen Gaming Podcast. So come back next week. Give us a listen. Subscribe on our goddamn channel. Share it with your friends in their goddamn inboxes. Do people use inboxes? People email nowadays? Yep. Bye, guys.